Alert weather.
Well, we're taking a live look here at our Capitol Federal Sky Camera over Emporia this afternoon. Currently 68 degrees with that dew point at 39. Visibility down to about 4 miles. Winds out of the southwest at around 7 right now. It's a little bit hazy out there. Controlled burns and winds, of course, that's really been consistent from every day. The last several days have been gusting to at least around 20 to 25 miles per hour, so that may be impacting visibility in some locations here across the area. Highs yesterday were in the 70s and even the upper 70s for a few of us. Very similar to what we saw today. Really not too much of a difference here. We're sort of leveling out, at least briefly, across the area here before we should warm up a little bit further heading into the next several days after this. But we do want to talk about chances of rain in the forecast. The picture is becoming a bit clearer here for our next opportunity to see some precipitation in the region. Right now, a little bit of some shower activity off to our north and east, and then a few little sprinkles, it looks like, further west, but nothing again that's really affecting us here in northeast Kansas. That should continue throughout Wednesday and most of Thursday, but it does look like we are going to start to see a little bit of some shower activity here, possibly in the early morning hours, and then by the evening we will be watching for some possible thunderstorm development in the region. Now, this is sort of a newer part of the forecast. We are more confident now that we'll start to see some thunderstorms Thursday night rather than later on in the week here, and as a result, the Storm Prediction Center has issued a 1 out of 5 marginal risk here for areas north of Interstate 70 for again Thursday evening into Friday morning. So that's something we'll be watching now, a bit of a newer development. Yesterday we were talking about this weekend possibly containing severe storms, but that threat has seemed to sort of subside a bit. Now I think we'll be mostly dealing with some on and off rain this weekend. Large swaths here moving over the area, possibly into parts of Sunday as well, but the severe threat for this weekend seems to be decreasing quite a bit, and that's something that is reflected in the Storm Prediction Center's outlook here now for Sunday. They have issued, or pushed back, I should say, that risk of possible severe weather, and they've shifted it away from our area, so we are no longer included in it. So good news there, but in the short term, Thursday is now something we'll be watching a little more closely. 38 for tonight, mostly clear and cool conditions expected. We'll be at the 70s again tomorrow, another nice day. Probably not much change once again from what we've seen the last 2 days, but by Thursday we should be jumping into the 80s, still warm on Friday, and of course that rain chance Thursday, and then more so this weekend.